As a beginner, this is one sewing project you should try your hands on. In this video, I'll be showing you the tips and the tricks to making this stylish overlap top with asymmetric hemline. This tutorial will help you not to get frustrated while sewing this blouse. So if you want your blouse to turn out perfectly, watch this video till the end so that you don't miss out on any vital information. This tutorial is beginner friendly and this blouse is very simple to make. You can decide to pair this blouse with a skirt or with a trouser and you come out looking really gorgeous. If you are new here, my name is Bumi and I teach you how to sew your own wardrobe from scratch. If you want to learn to sew easier, better and faster, then this channel is for you. So subscribe to the channel and turn on your post notification bell so that you'll be the first to know when a new video drops. Let's get right into the tutorial. So first, I'll go ahead to mark my starting line, which would also serve as my shoulder line. And then I'll go ahead to mark my vertical measurements. Please note that we are drafting the back pattern. So I'll mark my shoulder to bust measurement, which is 9.5 inches. I'll mark my half length. I'm using my front half length for this because this is not a contoured pattern. So my front half length is 16. I'll go ahead to mark that. And then the full length I want for this blouse is 23.5 inches. This depends on you. So I'll just go ahead to impute the same measurement on the other side so that I can have a straight line. So now I'm labeling my lines, my shoulder, my bust, my waist, and my full length. I'll go ahead to determine the neck width I want, which is 3 inches. I'll go ahead to mark that. And I'll be using a neck depth of 1 inch. And then I'll take out my pattern master and then I'll join the points together to form my round neckline. Then I'll go ahead to impute my shoulder measurement divided by 2. And because we are making a kimono sleeve, what I mean by kimono sleeve is a cut together sleeve. I'll determine how long I want my sleeve to be. So I'll be using 6 inches and I'll mark that. I'll come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slant and I'll connect it back to the neckline just as you see me do. The next thing I'll do now is to determine how wide I want my sleeve opening to be. And you know that on the norm, to calculate the armhole depth, we use our bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. My bust is 33. 33 divided by 6 is 5.5. When I add 1.5 to that, I would have 7 inches. So 7 inches is what I use on a norm for my armhole depth. So because we are making a cut together sleeve, you can go ahead to add 1 to 2 inches for your sleeve opening. So I wanted to add 1 inch before. I changed my mind and later added 1.5 inches. So 7 plus 1.5 inches is 8.5 inches. So I went ahead to mark 8.5 inches, which is my bust line. So now I'll take what I have on my shoulder line. I have 13.5. I'm going to place it on my bust line. But instead of placing 13.5, I'll place 13 on my bust line. Alright, so that half inch, I like to have a little slant. There's a way it falls on my arm and it's very beautiful. So this is optional. You can choose to still put the same measurement you have on your shoulder line, on your bust line, or you can slant by half of an inch, which I did. So on my bust line, I'll go ahead to mark my bust circumference divided by 4. Bust is 33. 33 divided by 4 is 8.25. Then I'll add 1 inch for my ease allowance. On my waistline, I'll go ahead to mark my waist divided by 4. My waist is 28. 28 divided by 4 is 7 inches. I'll go ahead to add 1 inch for my ease allowance. So I'll mark 8 inches on my waistline. On my full length, I'll go ahead to mark my hip circumference divided by 4. My hip circumference is 37. 37 divided by 4 is 9.25. So 9.25, I'll go ahead to add 1.5 inches. The reason why I'm adding 1.5 inches is I want the hip area to have a bit of an A-line shape. That is why I'm adding 1.5 inches. So now I'll go ahead to join the points together. So now I'll connect it into the bodice with a curve. You can choose to use your free hand, but I'll be using my pattern master to get a curve I like, and I'll use it to form my curve. Make sure it's not too deep. So now I'll come up by 1 inch and then I'll join it back to the center back with my pattern master. And now we are done with our back pattern. If you have gotten to this point, please give this video a thumbs up. Also leave your feedback. Let me know what you think about this tutorial. Has it been helpful? Please leave a comment and also share this video. My sewing loves, don't forget to also watch the ads. These are the ways you can support the channel and encourage me. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead to draft the front pattern. So I have two pattern papers on top of each other, just as I've showed you. So I'll go ahead to mark 3 inches all through for my overlap. Now this 3 inches is not standard. There's a calculation. So you take your bust span. The bust span is also called your nipple to nipple. Divide it by 2. In your answer, you subtract half or 1 inch from it. So for me, my nipple to nipple is 7. 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. So I subtracted half from it. So I'm marking 3 inches. So you can subtract half or 1 inch from your measurement. Now I'll go ahead to place my back pattern on my front pattern, and I'm going to arrange it properly such that my center back is touching my center front, just as you can see. And then I'll take the length of my back pattern. I'll take what I have, which is 23.5. I'll go ahead to put it at the center of the overlap area. I'll determine how long I want the front to be. So I'll come down by 4.5 inches. You can choose to do 5 inches, 6 inches, depending on you. Remember that the front is longer than the back. And I'll connect the points together. You can watch carefully so that you can pay attention to how I place my pattern master to get this nice curve. So now I'll go ahead to cut it out. Now this is the fastest way to draft the front pattern. Just place your back pattern on it and use it as a guide to cut your front pattern. So watch carefully so that you can see the area I cut out with my back pattern. So I'll go ahead to transfer the lines on my back pattern to my front pattern for clarity. So let me bring the back pattern so that you can see that I've done that. I'll go ahead to label our front pattern and then we'll continue with our drafting. Remember that we have a neck width of 3 inches. The neck width of the front must be the same as the neck width of the back. So now we'll determine how deep you want your neckline to be. So for me, I'll be using 7 inches for the depth. You can go ahead to do more if you want. Then I'll join the points together with my ruler. And then I'll connect it straight down to my waistline. Now let's go ahead to cut it out. So now I'll go ahead to notch that 7 inches mark where my neckline will overlap. And then I'll open up my pattern paper so that I can show you what I have. So this is what I have. Remember that the front has asymmetric hemline. So we are going to have to reduce one of the front. So I've picked the one I want to reduce. I'm going to come up by 3 inches and I'm going to connect it back to the sides. And then I'm going to cut it out so that we can have that asymmetric hemline for the front. So now this is what we have. You can see that asymmetric hemline effect. And this is the area we'll be attaching our press button. If you have gotten to this point, you are doing absolutely well. Type overlap in the comment section. I want to know those that are with me at this point. At the overlap area, I'll just come in by 1 inch because it's not straight, it's slant. So I'll come in by 1 inch and I'll connect it back, just as you see me do. Now, I would only do this for the front pattern A. I won't be doing it for the front pattern B because you know the pattern B is hidden. But this pattern A is what will be outside. So that's why I'm only reducing this pattern A by 1 inch. So now that our patterns are ready, let's go ahead to transfer this to our fabric and begin sewing. Now for the sewing part of this tutorial, you need to give me your full attention. I'll be using this beautiful Ankara fabric. I have 1.5 yards. Depending on your size, you will need between 1.5 to 2 yards. I also have my lining here and my press buttons. You will need about two press buttons for this style, and you would also need a decorative button. I will show you as we get along. So for my front pieces, I added half of an inch all through the neckline, the hemline, the shoulder. and also the sleeve. But on my side seam, I used 1.5 inches. I did the same for the other pieces of the front. For the back part, an half inch on the neckline, on the shoulder, on the armhole opening, and on my hemline, while I have 1.5 inches on my side seam, exactly like the front. Remember, when you're cutting your back pattern, you cut your back pattern on fold. I've also gone ahead to cut my lining pieces with the pattern paper. Now place your back piece and then place your two front pieces on them this way, and then go ahead to sew the shoulder only. Also do the same for the fabric. So this is my back piece. I'll go ahead to place my front pieces over my back piece, right side facing each other, and I would arrange it properly and pin it down. And then I'll go ahead to sew the shoulder only, just like I mentioned for the lining. Now pay attention at this point, because this is where you can make a mistake. Make sure that when you are joining the shoulder for your lining and your fabric, make sure that they are on the same side. Remember, there's a long part and there's a short part in the front. Make sure that they're on the same side, so that when you are using your lining to turn your fabric, it will fall on the same side. So cross check this before sewing the shoulder. So I'm done joining the shoulder for the lining and for my fabric. Okay, and so I'm going to place the lining and the fabric on top of each other, right side facing right side. And I'm going to arrange it properly and pin it down. Make sure that the neckline aligns, make sure that the hem aligns, make sure that the shoulder aligns. So take your time to arrange it properly and then pin it down so that it doesn't move. This part is very important, making sure that every part of the fabric aligns with that of the lining. So take your time. So I'll take this to my sewing machine and I'll sew it round. So you are sewing every part of this blouse, you are sewing it with half of an inch. Now you would have to leave an opening where we are going to use to turn out this blouse. So I'm going to leave about 5 inches on this front piece, the part that is short, okay? The part that will be hidden, I'm going to leave about 5 inches opening, which I'll be using to turn out the blouse. So go ahead to do this. So I'm done sewing my blouse all round, and I left my 5 inches opening on the shorter front piece where I'll be using to turn out this blouse. So first I'll go ahead to cut out any excess lining I have. I'll go ahead to trim it out. After that, I'll then go ahead to notch all the curve areas of my blouse. This is very important so that your blouse can relax. So all these curve areas, go ahead to notch it. Take your time to notch all the curve areas, your side seam, the neckline, the hem area. Be careful so that you don't cut into your stitches. If you have gotten to this point, I believe that you have learned something from this video. So don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't just watch and not support the channel. Please like this video, leave a comment, and also share the video. Have you been watching the ads? Guys, please show support by watching the ads. Thank you. So now I'm going to use the opening I left. I'm going to use it to turn the whole blouse. So watch carefully so that you can see how I turn out the whole blouse. This part is going to need a lot of your patience, so get ready. So turn it out gently. Take your time. And you can use your scissors to bring out the pointed areas. And then when you are done, give it a very good press. Give it a very good press when you are done. This blouse is going to have belts. So I'm going to have to cut my belt. When I open this up, I have 5 inches. So that is 2.5 inches on fold. I'm going to use half of an inch to sew the belt. So at the end of the day, my belt will be 2 inches. Okay, so I've given our blouse a good press, and now I'll go ahead to close the opening I left. So I'll just fold it this way. I'll just fold the edges in this way, and I'll go ahead to top stitch. So you can see how beautiful our blouse is looking after giving it a good press. You can see that our blouse is taking shape. See how neat the inside is, and look at how beautiful it looks. This is how yours should be. Okay, so I'll go ahead to arrange my blouse properly so that everything aligns before we go ahead to shape the blouse. After arranging it properly, I'll pin it down so that it doesn't move. So now I'll place my belt on the waistline on both sides. Make sure that you place your belt on the waistline and make sure it's the same point on both sides. One belt should not be higher than the other. And then I'll go ahead to shape my blouse. When we're transferring our pattern to fabric, we left 1.5 inches for our sewing allowance. We have used half of an inch to turn this blouse, so we are left with 1 inch. So we'll just go ahead to shape the blouse by 1 inch all round. So I'm done shaping my blouse, and you can see how relaxed my side seam is. You can see how relaxed my side seam is. Now take a look at this other side. See how rough and unrelaxed this other side is. So let me tell you what takes your blouse from this unrelaxed, unpolished side seam to a relaxed side seam. First, let me tell you that I've already ironed this rough part as you are seeing this, but it's still rough. And you can see how this other side is looking well laid and relaxed. Now, let me show you what to do. So flip your fabric over to the wrong side and then place 2 notches first at the waistline. Be careful not to cut into your stitches, and then at the most curved part, which is the underarm side, place another notch. Now flip it over to the right side and let me show you the difference before I even proceed to iron again. Can you see what a game changer notching gave this outfit? What did your notching do? It has eased the tension around the curved areas of the outfit. So now I would go ahead to give it a very good press. Don't forget, as you sew, you should iron. You have always wanted a structured and guided online learning to start your sewing journey, to help refine your sewing skills, or you want me to hold your hands as you go on your sewing journey, I have created a waitlist community designed specifically for you. Our online classes will go live within the first half of this year. So join the waitlist for all the updates, for all the discounts, for all the free guides, and for everything about the online courses. Now the next thing is to put our press buttons at the point where our neck overlap and at the break point there. Those are the 2 places where you put your press buttons. And you can also go ahead to put a decorative button just on top at the break point there, where you see me put that button. I will be using a cover button. So you can use any nice button you have and just place it there. If you're a beginner, you are looking for simple beginner friendly project to start with, to try your hands on, you can click on this playlist up here, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.